Star Wars just always knows how to keep us hooked with these mysterious characters that totally grab us and send our imaginations running wild. And guess what? With all the excitement building up for the new Disney Plus show Ahsoka, they've gone and given us a little sneak peek into Ahsoka's arch-nemesis, the enigmatic Inquisitor Marrok. Welcome to Star Wars Deconstructed, students of the Force and acolytes of the galaxy. Whether you're a Jedi, Sith, or somewhere in between, join us today as we give you all the details about the introduction of Marrok in the Ahsoka series. Once an Inquisitor hunting Jedi for the Empire, the mysterious Marrok now works as a mercenary hired by Morgan Elsbeth to carry out dark deeds. Fully encased in battered battle armor, the warrior still carries a red double-bladed saber with a circular hilt. This character profile pulled from Star Wars Databank points to one fact: Inquisitors are back. Marrok's entrance into the scene has thrown all Star Wars fans into a frenzy. Seriously, we're all pretty convinced that every single one of Darth Vader's Inquisitors had met their fate way before the original trilogy kicked in. The fact that they did not appear at all during the whole Galactic Civil War and their apparent disinterest in Luke Skywalker kind of backed up that idea, right? But apparently, we were wrong, because with this new twist, here comes an Inquisitor, and get this, it's years after the Empire went down. From the character profile, it's pretty evident that once the Empire went down the drain, Marrok decided to switch gears and become a full-blown mercenary. And guess what he's up to now? He's teamed up with Deanna Lee Inosanto's character, Morgan Elsbeth, as they're both dead set on tracking down Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, and here's the kicker: Ahsoka is in on this wild race too, giving them some real competition. But here's the million-credit question. What kind of spooky skeletons from Marrok's history are still lurking around and causing a ruckus in the Ahsoka series? Like, what's he's hiding that's gonna come back to bite everyone in the galaxy? Well, let's dive into his past then. The Inquisitorius, which also went by names like the Inquisitorius Program, the Order of the Inquisitors, and the Imperial Inquisition, was a shadowy group of Force-sensitive agents aligned with the Sith-dominated Galactic Empire. These agents, known as Imperial Inquisitors, or simply Inquisitors, were sometimes referred to as the Red Blades. Their main mission? Tracking down the surviving Jedi who managed to escape Order 66 during the Clone Wars. You know, the whole Great Jedi Purge thing. But that's not all. They also had the delightful task of hunting political troublemakers and nabbing Force-sensitive kids for something called Project Harvester. But how were they created? Well, we have Darth Sidious to thank for that. Knowing that he couldn't totally wipe out all the Jedi during his whole scheme to kick off a massive Jedi purge through Order 66, the sneaky Darth Lord of the Sith, Darth Sidious, actually started setting up the whole Inquisitorius program way before he snagged the title of Galactic Empire. Back in the Clone Wars days, Sidious got crafty and hired the bounty hunter Cad Bane to nab a bunch of Force-sensitive kiddos who were destined to become Jedi younglings. His plan was to take these kids to a private spot on Mustafar and put them through some twisted conditioning process, all to create what he called an army of Force-sensitive spies under his control. But you know how it goes. Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and Padawan Ahsoka Tano got in the way, swooped in, and rescued those poor kids before Sidious could finish his evil recipe. But Sidious wasn't one to give up easily. He set up more secret spots, tweaked some nanny droids, and kept working on his messed up plan to twist innocent infants into his loyal servants all over again. When Jedi Master Mace Windu, seemingly, tried to off him, Sidious seized the opportunity and triggered Order 66. Basically, he pushed a button in the clone troopers' heads, telling them to turn on their Jedi commanders. But of course, some Jedi saw through the Jedi deleting agenda and managed to escape the whole mess. Sidious, being the puppet master he was, had a backup plan: unleash his Inquisitors to chase down and harass the surviving Jedi until the Jedi Order's light was snuffed out completely. So the first batch of Inquisitors were actually ex-Jedi, who went to the dark side and signed up for Team Sidious. But as time went on, not every Inquisitor had to be a former Jedi, although a lot of them were, at least at first. Here's where things get even more twisted. Many of the Inquisitors got sucked into the dark side because of some seriously intense torture and just plain old corruption. Once they joined the Inquisitor gang, they pretty much lost their old identities. Sidious rebranded them with numbers, a symbol of their messed up membership in a group that flipped the Jedi Order's ideals on their head. For example, there was his Padawan Jedi Temple Guard who became the Grand Inquisitor. This dude hopped on board with Emperor Sidious because the Dark Lord promised him access to all of these Jedi archives. Quite the tempting offer. Then you had the Ninth Sister, who used to be a Jedi named Masana Tide. The 10th brother? Well, he was once Jedi Master Prosit Dibs, but he got all cozy with the Sith right as the Clone Wars wrapped up. Oh, and don't forget the second sister, a former Jedi Padawan named Trilla Suduri, who got nabbed and tortured until she caved and went all dark side. But who was pulling the strings, you ask? Well, Darth Vader was overseeing the show, being the apprentice of the big bad Sith Emperor Darth Sidious. But day-to-day operations? That was handled by the Grand Inquisitor, a mysterious figure with a title and not much else to go on. Oh, and there was a brief stint with a fill-in, the third sister. But before the whole galactic civil war mess, these Inquisitors had quite a time butting heads with Jedi and other folks who were somehow connected to the Jedi or Jedi-like stuff. This was the cool underground group called the Hidden Path that helped out Jedi who were in a pinch, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then there were the Spectres, a bunch of rebels that included Kanan Jarrus, and his apprentice Ezra Bridger, both Jedi survivors of the Purge. The Inquisitors also found themselves in some wild situations with Ahsoka Tano, who was once a Jedi but had moved on, and even Maul, the Sith Lord, who was out for revenge against his old master, Sidious. While the Inquisitors shared a common goal, there were several notable individuals among them, including the Grand Inquisitor, who was the main antagonist of the first season of the Star Wars Rebels animated series. There are also the fifth brother and seventh sister, two Inquisitors who appeared in Star Wars Rebels and played significant roles in hunting down the show's main characters. We also had the second sister and ninth sister introduced in the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. These Inquisitors are encountered by the game's protagonist, Cal Kestis. By the time the Galactic Civil War kicked off, the Empire had figured the Jedi were pretty much wiped out, and the whole Force-sensitive threat was on the decline. So, the word on the street was that the Inquisitors vanished into thin air. The Inquisitors have always been a force to reckon with, thanks to their unparalleled skills and relentless determination. But then there's Marrok. This guy seems to be operating on a whole new level, standing out from the rest. Before, Ahsoka used to handle Inquisitors like a breeze, but the way Marrok goes head-to-head with her in those trailers? It's a different game. And you know what's wild? This has got fans spinning in all sorts of theories. Could it be that Marrok is just a cover, a name picked up after the Empire crumbled? If that idea holds any water, Marrok might just be a more familiar foe. Someone with the guts and skills to really give Ahsoka, a Jedi trained by the legendary Anakin Skywalker, a run for her money. The introduction of Marrok, the Inquisitor, in the upcoming Ahsoka series has sent shockwaves through the Star Wars fan community. Longtime fans of the franchise have been buzzing with excitement and speculation ever since this new character was unveiled, and the reactions have been nothing short of intense. Given the rich history and lore surrounding the Inquisitor in the Star Wars universe, the emergence of Marrok has ignited a whirlwind of discussions and theories. Fans have been dissecting every piece of information available, trying to uncover connections to existing characters, past storylines, and potential plot twists. The fact that Marrok is positioned as an adversary to Ahsoka, a beloved and central character, has only heightened the anticipation. The unexpected nature of Marrok's appearance has left fans intrigued and curious about the role that this new Inquisitor will play in the Ahsoka series. The notion that there might be surviving Inquisitors even after the fall of the Empire and their involvement in the post-Empire events has opened up many possibilities for storytelling. Fans have been speculating about Marrok's origins, motivations, and how he fits into the larger narrative of the Star Wars universe. Some fans have drawn parallels between Marrok and other iconic characters such as Darth Maul or even Grand Admiral Thrawn, suggesting potential connections or alliances that could add complexity to the story. Others have delved into Marrok's potential ties to existing factions, like the remnants of the Empire or emerging threats in the galaxy. There's also excitement about the potential for epic lightsaber duels and intense confrontations between Ahsoka and Marrok. Fans eagerly anticipate the dynamic between these two powerful Force users and how their clashes will shape the series' direction. Of course, with the limited information available, there's also a healthy dose of skepticism. Some fans are cautious, hoping that Marrok's character is developed in a way that respects the established Star Wars lore and contributes meaningfully to the overall narrative. So there you have it. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and watch the next one.